Thanks to all our active patrons who have contributed a lifetime of $100 or more to reach Garuk Dong level status.
Here is the list of those special patrons in order of contributions.
If you would like to support our show, check out the CommanderSmiths at patreon.com. Welcome to the CommanderSmiths.
We're the We are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowery Smith.
Don't worry.
Why? I just spilled my beer. Of course I'm going to worry. Oh, we're cousins. All right.
It's not even take two. We didn't even get to the part of we were about to start and Lowery was like, I'm going to fuck with you. He's like, oh, this is going to be awesome. He stretches his arms out.
And I have so many claps.
Show that beer. Show the one that you have. No. Show the beer that your glass. Show how much beer that just got spilled.
It was more than
that beer on YouTube. It's not just your little beer glass. It's a fucking full thing. And there was more to the top than that. And he spilled it everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, oh shit. And it depends. I was going to put this as an unsnip. So it's for you guys, your fellow patrons out there. You can see the moment of the spill. Cause we were recording at that point.
Just make it a short.
Yeah.
Just
exactly.
make it a YouTube short.
Oh shit. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Oh shit. Did you just spill your beer? Yep.
I thought for a second there you took your robe off and I was like, oh no, he's going to wipe it up with the robe, not the robe.
I was at least clear-headed enough. We have a white towel in the bathroom near us by. I'm like, nope, can't use that. Ran upstairs.
Oh, I was going to say, is that like the towel that Nick uses for my, the t-shirt that Ibukaki wants to use?
No, that is a crusty towel and already used. And I don't want to, that would smell
won't
really
clean
bad.
Anything. That'll just
it'll sound like scraping the car from ice.
Yeah, okay. Oh, great. We're a couple minutes in and it's already a semen talk.
That's
right,
gross.
We're good.
Gross.
This is episode 216 and we got kind of a fun episode today. What are we discussing? What are we doing?
Is ramp the best? Is it the most important part of how you build your deck?
Yeah. So we're gonna kind of go through that whole thing, right?
Pros, probably not many cons, but just discussing ramp in general.
Yes. Ramp is the thing about this is I think you have always been on ramp and it hasn't like I wasn't always. I was like, mono rocks, I get a couple of those. But it wasn't until probably the last, 5-6 years that I started to actually be like, I need to start putting more ramp in because it's better. And so we're going to kind of go through, like you just said, pros and cons and all that. We also have a Stump the Smith Savant from Bill from Woodbury. Larry's going to try to get one win in a row.
Thanks. More than likely what I'll do is I'll know the card and just can't conjure the name out of thin air again for the fourth week in a row.
Yeah, exactly. We've 3 cards. It's the record. I think we went on a record of you got so many in a row. And now we're on a record of, I don't think you've ever lost back to back and then you lost back to back to back. So hopefully it's not back to back to back to back.
Yeah. People started trying, I guess.
Well, and it's also the luck of the draw. I mean, there's like
True.
40, 50 people's names in there, and I have to draw, that person and hit that land. Obviously, everybody should submit land.
Should we change the name of the game to Win a Card from the CommanderSmiths? Or
Well, do you want to hear what the new name is? Listen to this.
Oh, you made it.
It's time for everyone's favorite game show.
I know what it is. I just don't know the name.
I was gonna save it for actually going in it, but that's the new name of the game.
I like the name of this new game.
Until you get one right. I know what it is. I just don't know.
Oh, sometimes it's funny to hear what you sound like. Yeah. So
I know you didn't hear it last week. Or wait, did you listen to last week after I edited it?
No, I didn't.
So that a lot of people were like, "Wow, how did Lowery say that already, because then at the end of the cast you said that, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna put that in. Well, when I edited it, I put it in, so then it's actually in the cast, and people didn't catch it until number 2 pointed out on Discord, and then people went back and re-listened to that beginning part, because it is, I put it over me talking, so it wasn't, the only way you could catch that you said that, didn't actually say it, is if you're watching YouTube, because then your mouth wasn't moving, you weren't talking. I just plugged in the little bit. Yeah. So then now I made it as a button. So this is actually
fantastic.
When
Fantastic
you
work.
lose, that is what the button's gonna be until you get it right.
Fantastic.
And then we'll move on. So okay, so we got Bill from Woodbury trying to stump Lowery this week. We have to go over the results of Staple Versus. Last week's was Basilisk Collar versus Shadow Spear.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got for this week? I mean, that one, we'll see how that one went out. But what do we got for this week's?
I'm not taking my hand off my beer. It's just like I'm just holding on to it. We are gonna go with Land Tax versus Archaeomancer's Map. The new one from it's only out a year.
Yeah, that's a new one
see.
against an oldie but goodie. So we'll see how that one's a pretty good battle. I think we got some good.
We'll see how it goes.
Good staples here.
Do we have good stuff? Oh, we have good staples. Okay.
Good staples.
I'm not sure if we have good things to say.
Well, we'll see here. Okay, so then what are you drinking that you're not spilling? Why don't we get that out of the way before you spill that drink?
True. Thanks for the support. It is a really tasty beer. It is from Warrior Brewing Company.
Warrior.
Let me turn
where's that?
this
Is
off.
that Minnesota or where's that from?
I don't know. All right. So it's Warrior Brewing Company. It is Barbarian Imperial Stout. It's a bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout with Highlander Grog coffee.
Ooh.
And it is super tasty. It's really good. 12% as well. I highly suggest this. And what are you drinking? And I'll look where this is from.
Might have to, what is that? It's Warrior what? I might have to try to find that. Warrior
Brewing Company.
Brewing?
And so it's a veteran of war, not of Doctor of Animals.
I am drinking Game of Thrones one. It is Johnny Walker, A Song of Ice, blended Scotch whiskey, and it is Game of Thrones limited edition. I had to buy it because after I finish it, it's going right up on the shelf next to my over there. Game of Thrones stuff. It is actually pretty good. I like it. Yeah, it's really good.
Warrior Brewing Company is out of Duluth, Minnesota.
Hey, Minnesota.
So
right.
that's they got a handful of really good breweries up in Duluth, for sure. Bent Paddle's really good. That's my go-to. Yep. I like them.
I do like them. Yep. Okay, so you got a sad story supposedly, and I don't. Let's hear the sad story. What happened with you this week? What was the sad story? Let's get into it because I got funny stories.
Okay, yeah. That's we want the upper, not the downer going into. All right, that makes sense psychologically. So I'm putting my son to bed like I do every night, and I sing to him, and then I know 5 seconds later he's going to come out and take a shit. And so, he goes and does that, and then he goes back, and then I I don't put him to bed, but I have my head in the door, and he always goes, "Dad, can I ask a question?" And that night it was, what happened to Oma and Opa's dog, which they put down back in the fall. And I was like, well, he died, and then he was like, I miss Digit. What's his, he was like, what's his name? I'm like, Digit. I miss Digit.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, when I die, will you drive me to God? And I was like, oh, God. Oh, just like that heavy breathing. I was like, of course, bud, I'll be there for you.
I got you.
I was just, you're tearing up and you're like, oh my God, of course I'll drive you there. For some reason we're driving because, and I just, and I get, I go lay into bed. My wife is there as well. And we just kind of,
talked about
handle the kids as they're trying to fall asleep, and, we'll go in and out or whatever. And she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I said I was going to drive them to God. She's like, why are you being hit so hard? And I was like, well, it's hard to think about your kid dying, right? Like dead, like that stuff's weird, but it's hard to think about. But probably because we just watched Wreck-It Ralph, and the end of that's kind of sad when he's like trying to punch the.
Which one? The first one or the second one?
The first one. He's trying to save Vanellope, and you're just like, I teared up then too. And I was just like, it was probably just an emotional roller coaster ride that whole day.
I was going to say, I don't know if you've noticed it as being a parent or not, but I tear up a lot more than I used to. Like fucking sentimental shit. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not crying. You're crying. Like it's fucking
it's
ridiculous.
Okay. I mean, yeah, like, yeah, I and maybe it's different if you're not like a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't know. A lot of stuff has changed since I've become a stay-at-home dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so that could be part of it.
Yeah.
Because I think, for the first year, kids put off sense to have the parents become like more attached to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so like something about like smelling the top of their head or something like that. If I remember, and then you're just like, oh, I love this baby.
Yeah.
And so they're really getting you. And so, if you're doing that as a man, I don't know what that's going to do to your body chemistry or anything, but I can see that changing your body chemistry.
Yeah.
I don't know any of that. I haven't sat down and read a book because we all know.
Kid can't even read.
Kid can't even read.
So
I can tell you the smells that my boys put off. It's not that good anymore. It's not.
I agree. I read to my son on like these little like reading poofs, just like beanbag chairs essentially. Yeah. And now he's like, you're like,
yep.
God damn it.
Where half the time I'm like, he has to wipe, and I know is walking around with crusty butt right now. Like right before school, I get that in the car where they actually stink me out. Like it's impressive it's coming from a little dude like that. And I think, it's.
I mean, you got two, so I don't know where you're at, but I still wipe. That's why I wait for him to come out 5 seconds later. And then
Drake does everything himself. Zeke can,
but he just doesn't want to.
Just getting into poop talk. It's about kids, whatever.
Yeah.
But Zeke's a pretty clean pooper. Where
that's good. That's good.
It's because of the V8 juice that we have to mix with his milk and all that stuff. Because the dude's so picky that he won't eat fruits and vegetables.
He has V8. That's impressive.
Well, it's not tomato juice V8. So they have the fruit. Not like the juice. Like it's the actual 100%. Whatever.
I highly suggest the Naked brand.
Naked
of juice. It's a little bit thicker. It's a little bit pulpier, but it's not pulp.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So it's just thicker. They have like Blue Machine or Green Machine. Those two are really top notch. Yeah.
We always get
I suggest those.
The strawberry banana one.
Yeah. That's a good one too.
That's one we get. Yeah. So good talk. Hey, you guys, parents out there.
Yep.
Well, the thing is both my boys had pooping issues. So way back when Drake was like 4 and Zeke was 1, Drake was having the pooping issues. I probably even talked about in the cast where I had to dig his poop out with a thermometer.
Oh no, I remember that one. Yeah, it was so hard. Yeah. Yep, you just like got in there and broke it off like a Kit Kat and like
it was terrible. So ever since then, they've been on a constant V8 juice diet.
It's not worth that. Yeah, that's a lot of pain for your kids to go through.
So when Zeke poops, half the time it's not slimy. So anyways, good story. Another pooping story. When we were driving to Cindy's parents, I wrote this on the Discord. I think you probably saw that where we drove by a dead skunk.
Oh yeah.
And then Zeke's like, I don't like when skunks toot. And it's like, that's funny. We both giggled. And then for some reason, he's at a stage where when we're laughing because he says something funny, he gets mad because he thinks we're like laughing at him. But it's like,
we're laughing with you, not at you.
Yeah, but it's like you said something really funny. We're not like thinking you're silly. Like, not silly. Of course, we're thinking what you said is silly, but we're not like making fun of you. It's like, oh, that was really cute. And so he doesn't like that. So a lot of times like, no, Zeke, it's all good. No, the one thing I wanted to tell you was God, this is a poop. It's all fucking poop. This is all we're talking about is poop.
No, it's just poop. We're not fucking poop. All right.
Yeah. You did that earlier. When did
I
I do
did
that?
on your proxy time.
Yeah, you did. And the funny thing is, I didn't catch it live. I was like, "Ha, Lowery," and then I actually went back and I was like, "What did Lowery mean?" And so I like looked at the comment again. I was like, "Oh, that's what he was. That's the joke he was going with." I don't know what happens, but when we play volleyball every week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Almost every week on our drive to volleyball, doesn't matter what I eat beforehand. Once we get to volleyball, I always have to go poop.
Okay.
I always have to go poop. I don't know if it's like the anxious jitters and it just like gets the poop out of me. And so every time it doesn't matter.
Could be.
You know, I just have a piece of toast and then I get there and didn't really
Do you have
eat anything.
caffeine?
Not before I get there. No, it's
Okay.
just water or whatever. So Cindy's like, "Oh, gotta poop." And so this week I think we had BLTs. And so it was just, really light, whatever. And we were about 2 minutes away. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to have to do what I have to do." And she's like, "Don't forget to bring a Christmas towel." And I was like, "Well, you're mixing two characters up," because she was thinking that Towley and the Christmas poo are the same thing.
Yes.
It's a lot funnier in the moment.
I got
because
it.
I
got
laughed,
it. No.
Laughed my
I
ass
didn't
off.
think about the two, but
yeah,
it works.
Like, "Don't forget to bring a towel. I'm the Christmas poo." And I'm like, no, that doesn't work. So those are my pooping stories.
Yeah.
We just got a
Fantastic.
poop episode. This is a shitty episode.
Fantastic.
Good story, bro.
Thank you. That was a bad story.
No,
it was a lot better in my
wasn't.
head. It was
You're
funny.
fine. That's like the
funny when
second
it
or
happened.
third thing we've talked about South Park tonight. So I'm glad that was on your mind for sure.
Oh yeah, we did talk about the Queef sisters beforehand.
Yeah. Wow. I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna have to look it up on YouTube and hope it doesn't fuck up my algorithm.
Oh no, South Park's brilliant. They have some brilliant stuff.
They are.
And Queef Sisters is top notch. That's probably one of the best episodes. Like that whole episode, you just laugh your ass off. Just like Cock
They got
Magic.
A lot of Catholic. They have a lot of Catholic. All right. I don't know why I said that. They have a lot of good stuff. That's what I was going to say.
I think because I was saying Cock Magic, and then you went into they have a lot of Catholic.
I don't think for myself. I just repeat what Adam says.
Oh man, and I'm laughing my ass off, and it's only 18 minutes into this. Well, it's longer than that because there was a beer spilled. Okay,
There was.
So, is there anything else? Anything else happened
don't
this
know.
week, buddy? No. All right, should
Meow.
we get into things?
Meow.
Oh, I gotta get to buttons because we have. Oh, I already have it in the right spot. Because.
Huh?
All
Thanks.
right, you guys can become a patron by donating $1 or more, like our two new patrons. Mark McGee and Adam Kiefer?
Kiefer? I thought you settled on Kiefer beforehand.
Kiefer. You're right, Kiefer,
All right.
because I said Kiefer settled. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oops, wrong one.
Welcome
Jesus.
to Meat
Which is,
Forest.
thank you.
Sounds like a fairy tale of a meat forest.
Thank you guys for supporting the cast. You guys could do the same thing. $1 or more gets you in the Discord. $5 gets you proxies each month if you so choose. You can get foil proxies depending on the tier levels. Man, I'm serious. Those freaking dual lands that a 5-year-old could do better
on cocaine.
on
Or crack. I don't remember what illicit drug.
Let me show you really quick because I'm going to give you one example of each. So these, remember, this is a Lowery collaboration with this as well. But let's go with the plateau one. So that's like, look at that sucker right there. That is the text box and that's foil. That's what the foils look like. And then you get full text. Look at the full text on that with the foils. Sorry for you guys that are just listening, but jump over to YouTube and check that out. And then you got to look at the full art lands. And that just looks sexy as hell, especially Volcanic Islands.
That
And
was
then
a
I
good
actually
one.
added the volcanic. But
Yeah, I like
anyways,
that one.
you guys, if you're $5 or more, you can get proxies each month. Any money towards our show is very much appreciated. That will also get you into the drawing here. We're going to talk about that in a second. Or do I want to talk about that now? No, let's talk about it right now. So, because like I mentioned last month, we freaking blew it out of the water. Like it was 25% more, did I say? I think the final numbers were
Yep.
25% higher than any other month that we've ever had. And
normally we just squeak by.
yeah, normally it's like maybe 2%, 3% higher. This was 25%. So it just blew it out of the water. And you guys have continued to keep the numbers high with all that. So to say thank you guys, we are giving away for Twitter. All you have to do for Twitter is follow us, like the tweet that I have that on, or we have that on, where it's Besedju. So it's this one right here. I actually have it in hand. This is what we're giving away right there. So you just have to follow, like, and retweet it. And that's for everybody. People that are $5 or more on the Discord, we are going to do a Battle Boxes live with New Capenna, and we're doing set boosters. Ooh. And Larry and I are going to battle.
Who's going to win those triomes?
Yeah. Oh, Larry's already hating.
What? No. I think the triomes are super expensive at this point, but they're good.
Yeah.
I don't even.
But so each pack, it's going to be patron against patron, and whoever the winning pack is gets both packs, the 5 top cards from that pack, and we mail those out to you. If you're $5, if you're even more higher level tier, if there's leftover packs, we will battle those higher level tier people. So you could get up to 2, maybe you could almost get 2 drawings if whatever, it might happen. I don't know.
And so I know that we're pushing this thing too for the giving away to our patrons and whatnot, but I am super curious about last month, like that 25% bump. Where did you come from?
Yeah, what?
So if you're a new listener in March or roughly around then, and there was a reason that you joined, I'm super curious. Just email or Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, because it's seriously, this is actually,
we don't know why.
Larry. It's a mystery. It's a building a mystery. No,
I'm really curious. So I would,
because we were like, did somebody give us a shout out? But if somebody gave us a shout out, we didn't hear about it. No one else said anything, but it was a huge bump, and it's consistently stayed that way. So it's like, where the fuck did you guys come from? But like Larry said, that's a good point. If you are a new listener, don't be shy. Just
if it's something we did
or on YouTube.
If it's something we did, that's cool too. But if you came from somewhere or for some reason, just let us know.
Yeah. Or if it's just one person that has like pressed play and just had it going through all our episodes. So it's just continuously going.
It's probably Ryan W.
Yeah, right. Or Ibukaki, because he's going off our old. He's like, Salty 64. He texted, or was that Discord today? I was like,
Discord, yeah.
Question mark. He's like, I don't know. I'm just at that episode right now. I'm like, what the fuck? That's a year ago. Goofball.
I can barely remember what happened 2 weeks ago.
So anyways, that is the financial way to support us. Everything you guys do, it goes right back into the show. Especially right now, because we have some other bonus things happening with Discord members and all that. Are you out?
Yeah, no, because beer. I spilled half of it, motherfucker. It's so good. It's a really, really good beer. I'm enjoying this.
So that also goes into Lowry's beer fund. So make sure no, I'm just kidding. But the free way to support the show is to jump on YouTube. When you jump on YouTube, subscribe. That's all you got to do there. That is the free way. Just subscribe. That's all you have to do. But it'd be really nice if you watch some of our videos.
You can like it too.
Yes, liking our videos.
You don't have to comment though. Generally, I don't know even what you're talking about. Like I said, I can barely remember 2 weeks ago. If you comment on something older, I'll be like, God, I got to look this shit up.
So if twice a week, what do we have? We have Curated MTG. And what was Monday's Curated MTG?
Today's?
Yeah.
Goblin Assassin. I remember that one. It's a cool card. It's only in like 1,200 EDH rec decks, but it's a 5-mana goblin that comes into play. And whenever it or other goblins come into play, everybody flips a coin. If they lose that flip, they got to sacrifice a creature. And so, like, in a Krenko deck, you tap it, put in 5, 10, 15. Tokens. Everybody's fucking flipping coins, and they're going to be sacrificing their board. And you're
getting
going
rid
to be
of your little goblins. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And you could just sacrifice your tokens. It doesn't matter. Just keep Goblin Assassin in play. It's going to be nuts.
I actually had that in Okun and Zender Split, but then it was just... but it didn't, because it was just the only one. So
yeah,
I was
you
like,
didn't have enough.
That didn't work out. So I took it out right away. And then what was your Fridays? You remember Fridays?
Jesus
It's Friday.
Is that
Friday.
is that the Instill Energy one?
Fuck, what was
Nature's
that one?
Chosen? I think it's Nature's.
Yeah.
Nature's Chosen. All right. 1 green aura,
Yep, it was that
and
one.
you get to untap that creature if you so choose once per turn on your turn, or you can tap it if it's a white creature to untap another target artifact or creature. And so maybe even a land. But it's a pretty sweet card. Definitely goes in a Mara of the Accord, and it's if you have any like big mana card like Savala, just being able to untap that, either one of them. It's a really, really cool card. And people need to play it more.
There we go. There we go. All right. So then we also have videos like Mail Day stuff, cracking packs. We have battle boxes. We have Spotlight, searching for the Spotlight. We had a little trouble this week with Larry's computer crashing. But guess what? Larry gets a computer tomorrow. And that's because part of that money probably is from you guys helping with...
absolutely.
Yeah. Buying Lowery, getting a new computer so we don't have the crash problems. We also have Discord games, which are going to be once a month. We got to still figure out this month. So we haven't, but it's whenever.
I think we did it at the beginning. Maybe
we did at the end of last month. Whatever. Well, we'll get it here. Discord games. We also have Proxy Time, which was on Sundays. Like I said, it changed to 9 o'clock. Liked that a lot because then I could stay on longer. I was on for like an hour and a half or something. That was Sunday. I did Sword of War and Peace, the 2 versions of that. And then I finished off the fetch cycle. So now we have all the Shocklands done. We have all the duels done and all the fetches done. I think the main 3 are all done. I'll probably redo the Shocks because the Shocks are the Wombo art. But when the new Infinity comes out, I'll probably do those as well that way because I really like that art. But so
sweet.
The 3 mains are done. Like that's when you start building a deck. Those are the first 3 I look at. I'm like, okay, grab a shock out, grab a duel out, grab a fetch out, or fetches out. So those are all done. So check that out. That is Sundays live. A lot of this stuff is live. So just so you guys know, not the shorts or anything like that. I think that's it for YouTube. So you can check out YouTube Twitter where we post all that stuff. Let you guys know on that. There's also voting and all that stuff there. You can direct message us there. Or you can shoot us an email at CommanderSmiths@gmail.com, and that is where you can send the suggestions for this. It's time for everyone's favorite game show.
I know what it is. I just don't know the name. Let's see here.
I know what it is. I just don't know the name.
I'm clearly frustrated there. Clearly.
If you guys don't know how this game works, I'm going to read the flavor text of a card, and Larry's going to try to guess the card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes, you'll hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no, you'll hear this.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
He will get up to 5 wrong guesses, and he will get up to 3 clues. If he can name everything about the card except for the name itself, he will get the initials of the card. The card has to be in at least 5,000 EDH rec decks, and this week's stumper is Bill from Woodbury. Fellow Minnesotan. We've partied at his house. Partied by playing games is what I mean. And here we go. And Bill has stumped Larry before, but it was before we were giving away cards. So I think this is his first opportunity to try to win something.
Good luck.
So,
what are we giving away?
Oh, yes.
Ottawa?
Ottawa, Soaring City, right here. There's the full art version of that.
Gorgeous.
Full art version. All right. So, here we go. Changing Wrath's landscape is like tearing the scab from a wound. Changing Wrath's landscape is like tearing the scab from a wound.
All right, so Wrath, R-A-T-H, is...
Yes, yep, Wrath. Yep.
I know that.
Yep.
So this is, I believe, from Dominaria. And so that's a large swath of cards. It could be Time Spiral, like Terramorphic Expanse. You checked. Or just like a large swath, basically from, I don't think it's Dominaria from like 4 or 5 years ago, but I'm assuming the beginning part of, pre 8th edition. Can I hear it again, please?
Changing Wrath's landscape is like tearing the scab from a wound.
And so Wrath was the red, would be the red version. Oh, maybe? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not Dominaria. Because I think Dominaria it was Shivan? Like Shivan Reef, Shivan Gorge. Maybe I'm thinking wrong. Shit, Wrath? Wrath is maybe Marcadian Mask? That might be right. Wrath changing
Wrath's landscape is like tearing the scab from a wound.
So this could be a land card, and it seems like it's a red card of some type. Wrath was definitely red. So let's if you're not 100%, just ask questions. But is this a red and or land card?
Or what do you mean land? Like it's a land?
So
you're
it's
saying?
like red
or
identity.
land?
So it could be a land with the red on it, or is it a red card?
Wrong.
Neither.
Wrong.
Neither. It's neither? Whoa. Okay. Can I... So
First clue?
Wrath, for some reason, I'm in Nemesis. The set Nemesis. It could be Marcadian Mask, Nemesis, or... What's the third one? I mean, it could be black. Could it be black? Like changing... I'll take the first clue, please.
The original art features a woman planting small trees.
That seems green. That seems very green. It's not a land. It's not red. It's green. It doesn't have red identity. So, is it green identity?
Hello, boobies.
Yeah, got one on the win side.
Okay, so it's green. This probably, it's not an artifact. Unlikely to be a creature, but it could be, I doubt it's an instant, but it's probably a sorcery or an enchantment that would kind of like do this kind of effect. Is this a sorcery and or enchantment?
Wrong.
Too wrong. It's not a sorcery. It's not an enchantment. And it's green. It's not a land. I'll take the second clue, please.
The text features double the reward for your sacrifice. The text features double the reward for your sacrifice. It is a green card. The original art features a woman planting small trees. And the flavor text is changing Wrath's landscape is like tearing the scab from a wound.
It's a green card.
It is not a sorcery or an enchantment or a land. It is a green card.
So we know that it's not an artifact at that point because they didn't have... Well, I guess I said identity, so it could still be an artifact. Unlikely for that time period, though. It's more unlikely, like we're talking like an instant or a creature. What was that? Second clue, please.
The text features double the reward for your sacrifice.
Shit. Okay, so for some reason, there's this enchantment from that era, but I don't think it's from that set, that block.
But you already found out it isn't an enchantment or a sorcery.
You're right. It totally seems like that enchantment, though. If I knew that third one, why can't I think of it? It's Mercadian Mask, Nemesis, and something else. So creature or an instant, potentially an artifact. So let's say, is this a creature and or instant?
Hello, boobies.
All right. So more than likely one of those two. It's green. You're sacrificing to double? Because that totally feels like a black card. So it could be like a multicolored card. It could be. Because it feels like green-black. But there wasn't like a heavy multicolored theme going on there. It's not Reign of Filth, which is black. I'll take that third clue, please.
All right, I'm giving you the harder way of doing this. You only have 2 wrong. So I had it depended on if you were completely lost or not. So this is just kind of...
Okay.
I did something a little different with clues. Okay, so
Sweet.
this card is in 70,000 EDH rec
shit.
decks. Was first printed in Tempest and most recently printed in Zendikar Rising Commander. And is most often seen in what is it? I even spelled that. Tiana. What's her name? Tanya? Protector of Argoth.
Titania?
I even spelled it. I phonetically was spelling it. Titania, Protector of Argoth.
I think the Tempest part might have given it away. Yeah, that's it. Is it Harrow?
Hello, boobies.
Good job. And I went the harder with the clues there. Good job.
What was the other
buddy.
one?
Well, I was going to say this card is one of the best ramp cards and is in 70,000. So I was going to add in the ramp
70,000 decks?
70,000 EDH rec decks.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I only have it in CalMax.
Yeah. But yeah.
Which
so
I
it
have
was
3
just-
versions of the deck. But yeah.
You get double the
Good for
sacrifice or
you.
double the text
Landfall
features, double the
triggers.
reward for the sacrifice because you sacrifice 1 thing, you get 2 back. Yeah. So I tried to make it a little more tricky with that. But yeah, so hey!
I won!
It's time for everyone's
Just have to hear it one
favorite
more time.
game show.
I know what it is. I just don't know the name. I was almost there. That was a nice one.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was a good
Thank
one,
you,
Bill.
Bill from Woodbury. If you want, Bill, you can sign that card. 2 of them. Send it to Lowery and I. You can write
it here.
whatever vulgar thing you want
it
on
here.
that thing and send it to us, and that'd be great. And then we will
It doesn't
post
have
it.
to be vulgar. He could be nice.
You can be nice and just
Like,
say,
I love the sound of your voice.
and you can look over there. Those are next to the boobies over there. Those are the cards that have been sent to us so far. So you'll get on the wall of, I would say shame, but thank you for participating.
No.
You've stumped Lowry
not
before,
shame.
so
Yeah.
it's not shaming.
It's not
But
shame.
that was a tough one because he picked the original art one,
Mm-hmm.
which there's been 4 different arts. The cool thing about Bill from Woodbury is he gave me 8 freaking clues, and I used a
lot.
little bit. But you know, what I've been doing lately is I do what the art is, what the text is, and then the information more of the card, like how many decks and all that stuff. But I did use parts of, he made my job a lot easier for researching like where the original printing was from and the decks and all that stuff. So like you said, you can send your suggestions in. Your name is in. As soon as you put your name in, it is in there until your name is drawn. I put it on a list. So I have a spreadsheet, and on the weeks that I don't draw a name during Proxy Time, which is where I draw a name, I pick from the oldest one that hasn't been drawn yet. So if you don't get drawn for like a year, and your name may pop up just because I didn't do a Proxy Time video. So there you go. All right. So now we move into. Oh, do I even have anything for this? No.
Just build a better deck.
Secret. Oh, build a better deck's better. That's better.
Yeah.
I just like going to that one.
I would just say build a better deck.
Secret. Always secret lair. We do have a new secret lair coming, but that we'll kind of go over that later. I may not this episode, but next week maybe.
How long is that?
Or not
going
even
on
go
for?
over. What? It's
The
the
April
left-handed
Fools?
one. The April Fool's one. So that'll be around for a month.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'll probably do a short on that one, and that we'll just reference
Okay.
it that way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right. So is ramp like the most important thing when building a deck? Like when
No.
you go to build a deck? Yes,
No.
it is.
No, it is.
Yes. Yes, it is.
This turned into Stable Versus.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't know you were going to surprise me with the no right away. We're supposed to
Yeah.
build this together, buddy.
Yeah, I know. All right.
All right.
Good
so-
luck.
I don't know. So I was in the shower and I was just thinking about things. It's where I think about things the most. Yes, no, I don't need to think about things for that. I use a phone and look at it.
In the shower?
What? It just goes right down the drain. I'm just kidding.
But with your phone?
It's waterproof, buddy. I don't
Jesus.
normally do it in the shower, but that's okay.
All right, no.
Because oh man,
Hold
it's
on.
Oh, good.
It's gonna be TMI because our shower drain clogs because Cindy has long hair, and I don't want. She has to pull the hair out every about month or so. You know, like unscrew the drain cover and then take it out. I don't want my semen to be mixed into her.
Yeah. What are these clumps from? I don't know. The
They're
boys must be
moving.
hocking loogies in there.
There's too much conditioner down there that just got stuck.
Too much hair and conditioner? How dare you?
Yeah. Okay. So I got to thinking, and ramp, it always hasn't been a part of my repertoire. It has always been there, but not to the extent it is now. Whereas if you look at our blueprint, we have quite a few in there, and I don't know if that has to deal with like because we don't tutor anymore. Fucking fart. Let's get it. Because we don't tutor anymore as much unless it fits in the theme or what it is. But ramp specifically, I always have played mono rocks, but specifically lately I've been playing more of cards that go and get me land. And that's kind of interesting because we're talking about this, and then our staple versus is cards that do that as well. So it's like we almost planned it out, but we didn't plan it out.
We didn't mean that.
Yeah. But I have found that with decks that do that, they are more consistent. My decks are more like, think of Yarok. Yarok, for example, is a mana
Fucking bonkers.
well,
Yeah.
but it's all like a lot of it is land drop stuff. It's like when this creature comes into play, go search for land. Well, if you have Yarok out, you're going to look for 2 land. What ends up happening with Yarok is it does its thing, and then there's a board wipe that happens. But I have so much mana out that I'm like, okay, pop Yarok back out again, and now I'm playing things again because I have so much mana sitting there. Whereas ramp with mono rocks are great because you're colorless, and you can do it in all these decks, but we can run into a problem with is like cyclonic rifts hitting those, or they're more targets. You can't really target land as well. You can, but people don't.
Yeah. So like I think ramp, when it comes to land-based ramp, you're heavily in green at that point,
Yeah.
right? And
There's a few artifacts that do that, but not a lot.
And so like I get what you're saying when it comes to like green's really good at ramp, and that's what makes the deck, the color really good. And it has a really good top end as well.
I would say green, black, and white do ramp. There are cards for green, black, and white. I mean, we have 2 of them from white. White keeps adding more and more.
I don't consider land tax ramp.
Kind of is though.
I consider that probably more draw/card advantage.
Oh,
and so, like,
ramp. I think
when
if I was
you're
making it, I would have that as a part of my ramp package.
Yeah.
Because you're
for
getting
consistency,
3 for 1.
which is the difference between ramp and drawing, right? So drawing is going to allow you to see more cards and be more consistent with what a deck is going to be. Ramp is putting you quicker into your mid to late game.
Yeah.
And that's where I would look at it. And so land tax doesn't put you ahead. It just, we're doing staple versus now. All right.
Well, it kind of does though, a little bit.
So it just allows you to consistently be able to play your lands for multiple turns, but you're not getting ahead. And ramp to me is getting ahead. And
I see what
so
you're saying there,
the big thing about ramp is I'm not saying it's bad. You know what I mean? That's
it sounds
a big,
like it sounds like that's
part.
what you're saying right now.
So this is turning into staple versus. All right. I just think it's good, right? But if you're on Twitter and you see a lot of you'll see a lot of powerful people discuss how the game has really sped up. Command zone. And it's kind of their fault. And it's kind of everybody's fault. And what it is like you're talking about, like we can put some of the blame on proxies. We can put some of the blame on wizards. We can put some of the blame on content creators like pushing these ideas. And so
you can put the blame on EDH Rec.
Part of it. And so, you know what I mean? Like we have gone, every deck could or should have X spell, Mana Crypt, Soul Ring definitely is in every deck because it's available for everybody. Mana Crypt has been printed more and more within the last 4 years than it was previously, last 20.
Still at the same price, if not higher than what it was.
I mean, it was like a $200-$300 card before they started reprinting it. Now it's like 150.
Yeah.
Question mark? I got one. I'm not looking anymore. And
good for you.
Good for you.
Thank you. And so, I love your echo one. That's so much better than mine.
Well, I press all 3 of the buttons because I have them all next to each other. So I go boop, 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 boop. Yeah.
So like when if we're talking about like artifact ramp, right? You have, I think you have 2 to 3 different classes.
Mm-hmm.
One is like the CEDH version where it's, I believe they call it like mana negative, where you're talking
playing
about
it and you're gaining like Soul Ring is 1 and you're gaining 2,
yes.
Right? So
and Mana Crypt is 0 for 2, and Moxes are 0 for 1. And so all of those are super powerful and they speed up the game.
You can't play Moxes. What are you talking about?
You know which I'm talking about. You know it. Like I think
you're
people,
a big fat cheater. That's what you are. Maybe we should do a power 9 for command. Oh no, it just gets stolen. Sorry.
Just get stolen. Yeah. And so like if you're doing mana negative ramp, you're doing pretty well for yourself. And it's expensive and you're speeding your game up. So this is where like ramp becomes really powerful, like the most important part of your game, right?
Oh, so you're agreeing with me? Yes.
But like if you can go like Rhystic Study turn 1, like fucking that's game, right?
Well,
is that game because of Rhystic Study or because of your ramp?
Both.
So maybe not.
Maybe they become the arch enemy. They have 3 against 1. I mean, and yeah, whatever.
That's a Soul Ring turn 1. Like
that happens so much though. That
happens a lot more because it's just more consistently there, right?
Yeah.
So if we're talking like about artifact ramps specifically, I think so we discussed like the mana negative and the And then you can do the mana positive, which is more of what I go for on a general basis, except that everybody plays Soul Ring.
I would just say build a better deck.
It's the level where I enjoy playing, right?
I would just say build a better deck.
We can even say, like Arcane Signet. That is a staple, right?
Yeah, but
that's
it's a negative because it's a 2
it's
for a 1.
2 for 1,
Yeah.
and that's where I like to play with. You know,
Ooh.
I like the signets. I like
Ooh.
the talismans. I like, you know, if we're gonna get into the land based and green, what it does best, like Farseek, Rampant Growth, you know, 3 visits, and Nature's Lore. Those cards are really fucking good. And no other colors have that to a degree. White has it with 2 cards if you're behind.
Well, there's more behind because isn't one of our staple verses a couple weeks ago, the other one where if you're behind, you also get it. There's a lot of them that are when you're behind with white. Because you have the
putting
knight.
it into play. That's the part that rents. So Loyal Warhound and Knight of the White Orchid.
Right. Yep. That's the one I was thinking.
That's what I would put them on par, like compared to all the other like colors. It's green and then white with those 2 cards.
Yeah.
If you're behind.
If you're behind. Well, what's the one that we just did? Was it Keeper of the Accord? Doesn't that do something similar? What is that one again?
But that's at 4 mana. That's at 4 mana.
That doesn't count.
No, I mean, but that's not speeding up the game. We're talking about like there are different types of ramp. And if you want to go with like the ultra powerful CEDH ones, you're doing mana negative ramp. If you're doing, I think the 2 for 1 mana is relatively fair. It still speeds up the game, but I think it's fine.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And like that 3 CMC rock spot, like Commander Sphere, and there's a lot of different like
there's a lot of those
spots
There's a ton
for
of those.
that.
Yeah.
That's where you start going like, that's kind of slow, right?
Yeah, but you can add the other bonuses with it. Command Sphere has that if it gets destroyed, you know, you're sacrificed to draw and all that stuff.
So it has to do something more.
I guess what I'm kind of getting at is I found myself lately playing less of the rocks and more of the finding the lands.
You're in green, red, and red. That's all you've built for the last 3 years.
I know. That's what I like is the green and the red, and I can go get that. But I guess you're right with that part. Is like if we got more colors, blue doesn't have any of that shit.
Exactly. It has some, treasure making.
Yeah. So that I guess what my point is you should just have green splashed in somewhere with your deck.
Don't build any other colors.
That's green is the best. No, because honestly, my most powerful ones have that splash. Like, and it's ramping with the land, and that was the point of why this thought came to my head. Is the more you can filter out your lands. I know we've talked about like it really doesn't do much when you're fetching and grabbing a land out, but if you have enough in your deck that do things like that. And you're able to do it maybe multiple times if you're able to flicker it or do multiple ETB effects, it does affect it. I mean, as you get into the late game, you're not drawing as many lands and you're hitting those, you're hitting your land drops every single time. And then now you're hitting cards mid-late game instead of drawing a land when you need an answer, you're not hitting those as often. So that's what originally triggered it. And I was like, is ramp actually the most important? Because you're trying to early game get your setup. It's all about the setup. Those first like 4 turns, everybody's just like, okay, setting up.
Yeah.
The games we play, we don't play CEDH, but it's all about the setup and getting your land and getting everything set. But by you setting that stage, if you do it right, it should set you up for the mid and late game to not draw your land again. And so that's what I was kind of getting at is like, does that become the most important thing? Like, does it override drawing? Probably not. Drawing for us is more important because we don't have tutors.
Yeah.
I'm not even on the fucking page. Whatever. I'm
And
not gonna
so
press the
so
button.
like I agree with you to a degree. So like it depends on what and why, like the thing and the philosophy that you're doing. And so my thought process is when I have my land count, I'm looking at it and it's higher than a lot of people's. But I'm running the fetches, I'm running, Ash Barrens and Prismatic Vista and Fabled Passage. I could run other passages or other fetches that are legit, but I want to make sure that it forces me to get my basic lands because of Blood Moon or whatever. But at the same time, I want those to be thinning my deck, even though percentage-wise it hardly
it's not doing
matters.
much, but it is. I mean,
It is, because if you're running enough of them.
mm-hmm.
And the big thing is, and this can be attributed to every type of group that you have in your blueprint, is that
We should tag the blueprint, by the way.
we could probably do that. Yeah. The big thing is like having enough of them. You can be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to have 3 or 4 wraths for my creatures. I can take care of that. That's all I need. You might not see creature removal then.
Yeah.
You need enough creature removal. If you're like, this enchantment is going to take care of all of the other enchantments and artifacts, I don't have to worry about that. Or this one card is going to draw me a shit ton, and you skimp on your draw. You
have 1 in 99 that you're going to hit the. Well, I
And
guess
that's
less than because
consistency.
you're starting hand, but yeah, that's why having enough of it helps.
And so having enough of land helps you in your consistency and just being able to try and drop a land every turn. And it's not necessarily better than ramp, right? Ramp speeds you into the mid to the late game super quick. But if you're missing your land drops, you're not being consistent. So if you miss your ramp, then you're just dead in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's that big difference. I run 36 to 38, pending, 2 and 3 plus colors, and I hit my land drops, and I hit ramp.
Oh, good
That's
for you.
not the point. And so, like, if you're doing those things, then you can consistently do what you want. You want a deck to be able to do what you want,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what you want to have happen. Now, the big thing about ramp is, when is that time that you want to be hitting that?
Early and often.
Well, that's part of it. If you want to be early and often, you're going to be in that CEDH group that's doing mana negative things.
Well,
You're
I
going to
don't-
pack in as many moxes as you can. You're going to pack in all
but
of
then
that
you're
kind of
cheating. You need to stop cheating with the
You're going to be doing as many of those cards as you possibly can.
Well, and the Black Lotuses, you play those too? I mean, it's
Absolutely.
no, I
But
get
do
you.
you see
I
what
mean,
I'm saying? Like, you
yeah.
can choose which different groups that you can be in to make sure that there's, what is the Gilded Lotus? There's that crew, which is like later game. You're building, you're doing
Right.
your thing, and then you're like, you hit 4 or 5 mana, and you're making, you're getting a rock that's going to get you, or ramp, land ramp spell that gets you 2 to 4 mana, and that puts you into the late game. Or you can be casting spells that are 2 to 3 mana that puts you into the mid game.
Yeah.
And then you can be doing mana negative stuff that puts you into the mid game. And so, like, your choices on your mana allows you to choose what speed you want to play at and your consistency.
Yeah, I guess my big thing is I already hit it. Put the green deck, because I'm about to build a fucking Blanca deck, so it's
All
another
right.
green red deck. So because the thing is my biggest, what I was putting in this was that the ramp artifacts are good, but they can be targeted. I said that in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to hit the lands. I guess it would be nice. I know that's a green thing, but I feel like green is just good with everything.
What? What? Yeah.
So I feel like they could feed some of the other colors some of this stuff, you know, because it'd be nice to be. I feel like land is the thing you need to hit, but I guess then we should just always play green. Because my Daryl deck does really well. Yarok does really well because those are both land, searching for land type things, land spells. I don't play as many mono rocks in those because it's all ETB effects. Those are pretty consistent decks. And when a Cyclonic Rift happens or a board wipe happens, those decks recover so fucking fast. I mean, Daryl is built to wipe the board and then win the game because I wipe the board and then win the game afterwards. You know, that's just how that deck works. I guess, where do you lean? You play a lot of rock. You play, if you had a choice between rocks and ramp with land, where do you go? If you had green as your option, I guess.
No, and I think that's the big thing, right? Is like you're going like green gets that huge advantage in being able to do land. And there's a reason why every other color, other than like the CEDH, because you put in those mana negative like ramps, because they're just fast.
I mean,
it's
you're
just
adding
so fast.
I guess I would say this too is you get, like you said before too, red has it because of the treasures. I mean, treasures, it feels like blue is the only thing that doesn't have something.
I don't think black's that fast. The black is mid game.
Yeah, I mean, it has the 4 drops. It has the 3 and maybe 3 drops. I know the 4 drops. I have a couple of those in Yarok, but maybe
so
not
like
the 3s.
black, if you're in black and you're relying on black, it's probably a mid game. You know?
Yeah, and I guess the Yarok ones, they're 4 drop for those, so it'd be more of a mid game with that. But it's going to search for a swamp and all that stuff, so it's
okay. Yeah. And so I think
I'm wanting to look what it was.
when we want to like talk about ramp, it's there are your choices. And if you want to get into super fast, sorry, cancel that thought direction that I was going, because we talked about it when Dana was on a little bit back in December, but I will use faster ramp when it comes to higher CMC decks. And I think that's, if you're able to balance that kind of thing out, like if you want to be like cheating big honking monsters out, but you know that it's too slow, I think it's okay to be putting huge ramp packages in so that you can get to that late game when everybody's getting to their middle game. And that's because you don't have too much of a middle game, right? Like you are early game ramp into late game monsters.
Late game big stuff. Yep.
And if I remember right, this is Paulo Vito Damaderosa article from Channel Fireball over a decade ago. This is when Primeval Titan was in standard. Because I really enjoyed reading Channel Fireball articles back in the day when they were dominating. I don't know if they are now or not, but this is almost pre-Commander. But so what he was talking about, it might have been LSV as well, but you know, they're talking about 60 cards standard and or modern decks, and they were talking about what the problem with ramping was. And in those style of decks, when you're ramping, you want to ramp into something. And so sometimes you get hands full of that something, and sometimes you get hands full of that ramp, but not, you need to get that perfect mixture. And that can throw you off big time. In Commander, I think you really get rid of that problem because ramp is just so important to the game. But I think maybe part of the discussion of that's missed is, which section are you picking from? Are you picking like Hedron Archive and Gilded Lotus, which is like 4 or 5 mana to give you 2 or 3 mana, and they're putting you into that late game when you get to the mid game? Or are you going early game, ramp, and then we're into our mid to late game? We've talked about, like, if it's beyond 6 mana, it has to be really, really powerful,
good. Yeah.
right?
And even at that 5, I mean, you've kind of not liked Gilded Lotus for a while.
Agreed.
I've used it, but it's no longer. I don't even think it's in any decks, but I will agree with the decks it makes it into are higher CMC. Maybe the commander itself is a higher CMC. Yeah. So my good range for the rocks, if it gets over 3, I start going, like 4, really? I don't play a lot of 4s. It's 3 or under. Like that is my range for rocks.
And that's where I'm at as well. And that's basically our speed. But, you know, and we've talked about it. Mana Crypt could be in every deck. You might do that. I do not. I choose to put that in my higher CMC decks.
It's in a few. If it's in my flip coin deck and it flips.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's in, I think there's 2 other decks that have it in there. 2 or 3.
But it's like Soul Ring. It's something that really pushes the speed of decks.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
and again, theme it, you know, that's my thing. Like if the deck is the flip coin, obviously, if the deck is gaining life, obviously that's where it'll fit in. But other than that, it's
plus
like,
and minus.
Yeah.
So it could easily go in every deck.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where, when you're deciding what your play group is doing, what speed you want to be going at.
If that card was worth like $5, would you put it in every deck?
No. Because I know that it speeds up the game. The only reason why I
what if
put
everybody
Soul
else
Ring
was
in every
playing
deck,
with it?
I probably have to be forced to do that. Which I'm not against.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it depends on the play group. We play with a consistent group, and I have a feeling that I know where the group is. And so I'm aiming to be within that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be faster, but I definitely don't want to be slower.
Mm-hmm.
Like being slower just feels like shit. And being fast feels like pub stomper. And I don't want to do that.
Especially being slower, being a Smith.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not good. That is part of it too. Like you got to be a little bit faster.
Oh, that was so much fun this week, by the way. Side note to Discord people, Lowery and I went on a rampage of deleting everybody that said kill the Smith. Yeah, it was fantastic because number 2 did
April 1st. It was
number 2 did it first. He was like, whatever at SmithCon, blah blah blah. You got to kill the Smith first, and then I deleted it, and he didn't notice it at first. I was like, hey, number 2, what happened to your comment? He's like, you fucker. And then other people started doing it. And I was deleting. And then I went to delete one and it disappeared before I deleted. I was like, what the fuck happened? And then Lowery comes on. He's like,
motherfuckers.
Fucking. Oh, it was awesome. It was like 2 hours of just demoting people.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Blocking
that
people
was
and
that was maybe one
out.
of my favorite April Fools ever. That was good stuff.
Number 2 didn't even come back admin until today.
He felt oppressed.
Yeah, he was getting Trombley to make him a mod.
He did do that.
Trombley hasn't been on the Discord since it started, so like
it was only because he hadn't come back on. I wasn't gonna go search for his name. I just needed, because I took him off all everything, and then I gave it back to him like maybe an hour later. And then he started giving other people mod powers.
Yeah, that's when
like,
you took him
get
off
rid of him.
You're like, I can
done.
put him back on too soon.
He's done. So,
hey, that's a thing. If you guys want to join the Discord, $1 or more gets you into the Discord, and you can enjoy fun things like that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we have fun. They have fun. They know it. They'll admit it.
Quick question.
Okay.
If you were to pick the most important thing in building a deck in Commander, what would it be?
You mean like, are we talking between ramp and draw?
Is that what you think, draw?
Yeah,
Is
no,
right?
draw's more important.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Staple versus.
No, draw is more important. Actually, that's really true. Do we want to switch this right over to draw versus ramp?
and just scratch the other.
Let's just do this. Yeah, we can get rid of.
I have ramp as like this half page thing, and then I have draw as like 4 points, and that was it for my draw. But it was good. It was just, it's straightforward. I mean, draw is just do we want to blow this load, or we want to save it for another episode?
Let's save it.
Save it
We will talk about, is draw the most important thing?
I personally, my last points on ramp is specifically the searching for land ramp, and like you talked about with the fetches and all that stuff. Even though the percentage is very low, it still is helping you not draw those lands when you need an answer. And the more you can have of that, if you have that option, you should use it.
Yeah.
Because it does help. It does help your mid and late game stuff. And the more you do it, not where it's just like 1 or 2 cards. Like Lowery said, if you have like, hey, I can get rid of enchantments, but it's only this 1 card. You're never going to fucking hit that card unless you're a tutor deck, unless you're tutoring for that card.
Yeah.
That can't be your only spot removal for enchantments. You need other spot removal things. So my point is if you have ramp, besides artifact ramp, if you're looking for lands, you have multiples of it, it can really affect your mid and late game. And that's where the whole idea is like, is it the most important thing? I guess if every deck has green in it, it might be, but not every deck has green in it.
Ramp is the most important for green.
Green. If maybe we should revise that title. Is ramp the best for building a green deck?
Yes.
But I still think it's very important. Even if we are to rank this, I think draw is up there, and I think ramp is like right next to it. You know, like
I like how you said it was below, just right below draw.
I'm not doing staple verses right now.
I would agree.
We're not doing, because we are doing staple verses right now.
Excuse me, I believe you have my stapler.
Fight!
Staple verses! All right, speaking of ramp cards, well, we'll get into that in a second. Let's go over...
You don't have a ramp card.
Yeah. Yes, I do. I think
you
it
have
is a ramp card.
A selection card.
It is a very nice ramp card that will get you ahead after 1 turn. Anyways, okay. It will.
You ahead
Don't
anywhere.
worry, baby. Don't worry. Okay, let's talk about last week's.
All right.
Last week's debacle.
All right.
Okay, so what did we have last?
Debacle? It should be close.
What do we have for last week's?
It was you had this card that I can't even currently remember.
Your favorite new card, Shadowsphere?
Yeah, that one. I like that one.
Yeah.
And then I had Basilisk Collar.
Your old
my
biddy.
old bay.
Your old crush.
My
Yeah.
old bay.
Your old bay. There you go.
And I almost said the same thing, like I can't remember the name of that one.
Shadowsphere. All right. So the
How'd that go?
voting. The voting. How do you think it went?
Oh, not good for me.
Where do you get your statistics? Just what the cards are? or
Okay,
just
let's.
pulling
I'm
from
going to
the
say
air?
it's around 60-40, plus or minus 5.
60-40. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go with Twitter.
Mhm.
Voted 72% with Shadowsphere.
Shit.
YouTube.
Mhm.
84% with Shadowsphere.
Oh shit.
And fucking Twitter. 55%
You mean
Shadowsphere.
Discord?
No, it's Shadowsphere on that. Because I think Gwen was the last one to vote and made the swing over. Otherwise, it would have been 50-50.
Discord's the best.
Yeah, Discord. Fucking
They are the smartest,
yeah.
most intelligent,
Uh.
and nicest group that we interact with.
They're the only one. Well, there are some on YouTube.
I get the Exile Discord over there, and then there's Facebook that probably doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I actually, so the funny thing about that, I jumped on Exile today just because I was like, I get the notifications on the side with the Discord stuff, and it's like, oh, one notification, whatever, and most of it's like, hey, everyone looking for games or whatever. So I jumped over there because there was like 4 or 5, and I'm like, oh, I think that's our whatever. every fucking staple versus, they're all like, Lowery got your back, Lowery got your back, Lowery got your back. And I'm like, you fuckers, like every single one of you fuckers. Just because Lowery's over there talking to you guys.
No. They are very intelligent Magic players, okay? They are some of the nicest people
they're a bunch
ever
of sons
as well.
of bitches is what those
no,
fuckers are.
you be nice. How dare you?
I see why when I said,
How
"Hey,
dare
should I jump on Exiled and start chatting there?" You're like, "No. You're good. You just
You're good.
stay.
You don't need
you just stay where you are. You're good." I'm like, okay, Larry, I'm good.
No, that's not the only. I said you need to branch out in other directions. I got the Exiled, my crew. They're good people. You go find your
own
Satanists or whatever they are that would agree with you.
Why did you go Satanist? Why did
just because they're against me. They're bad guys because they would like you more. That was
it was pretty.
It's
funny.
not because you
don't believe in it. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
You're not Satanist because you don't.
Because I wouldn't
You
believe
just-
in the Satanist part of it either. So it's
No,
like,
you wouldn't.
Yeah. Anyway,
I
okay.
don't know,
So
because they,
what do we got this week with you got your freaking Exile Discord on your back. They're going to choose whatever you choose here. You got the Discord on your side. Like if we had a voting, too bad we don't count Exile Discord voting.
I think they shoot over. I send them
They can't shoot over and they have to go over
to
YouTube.
Twitter. It's either Twitter or YouTube. So
Well,
I'm getting
the
crushed
numbers
there.
aren't showing it.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Now it will. All right. Do you need a reminder of what we're looking at? Because you went and grabbed your phone. Did you grab your phone? Is it what
Doesn't
you spilled
matter.
on?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, sorry. Hang on. The crown has to go on because I am the champion.
Yeah. I can't. I would have to leave my hat on and in this because my head isn't as big as yours, and so
It's just so much brains up there.
that's not. I was not implying the physicality of your
The
head,
brains
just
are
like
huge. I know
how
I have
big
a
your
5
head
head.
gets
I
from
have
winning week in and week out at a 95% clip. And
You
that's
let me
okay.
pick. That's what happens.
Well, it's my fault for. Yeah, it is. Maybe I should just pick propaganda versus ghostly prison. That's what I should be doing, huh? That's
Well, then
not intriguing.
I would pick the blue one because then I'd get all the blue players.
Too many of them. All right.
Hey,
So
number 2.
it's Archaeomancer's map versus
You can't
land
even
tax.
say it. You've been drinking too much. You can't even say your card. I mean, which one's your card?
Maybe.
All right. What does Archaeomancer's map do? What does that card do?
What did I say? That's what I said. Why
I
did
know.
I not be able to say it?
Because you're
All right.
going to spill a drink
2.
on your computer.
You're right. 2 and a white
2?
artifact. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 basic plains cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle.
Interesting.
When a land... What?
It's interesting.
It's not interesting.
It's
It's
very interesting.
better than what land tax does. All right. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, if that player controls more lands than you, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield.
Okay. So
Yeah.
3 turns in, right?
What do you
All
mean?
right. So
What do you mean? What do you
land
mean?
land tax, turn 1. You go, all right, I'm starting my first turn. Plains land tax.
Yes.
Boom.
And more than likely, you're going first as well. So fuck off.
Why are you going first? Why? Are you
Because
going
that's what happens.
Well,
You
okay,
think,
so
you think
in-
you're lucky having a land
whoa,
tax
wait,
in
wait,
hand
wait,
turn
wait.
1,
So-
but you're going first, so you'll never be behind.
So then put the same situation in Archaeomancer's map. So
Yeah.
you're never behind there either.
That's
If you
great.
go
I get
first-
2 land into my hand.
Oh, so we're playing. Okay. I got what you're saying there. The situation of if
oh.
you're first.
It's just better.
It's
Okay.
It's not okay. So here's the big difference.
Uh-huh.
You play it on turn 1, right?
Yes.
Not only that,
Uh-huh.
I don't need to look for just a basic plains. Yes,
Just basic.
According to this, they are both white cards, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But with land tax, I can play multiple colors because I can go get basic lands of any type. I don't need just plains. I can get freaking islands. I can get forests. I can get mountains. I can get swamps.
For basics, it doesn't even matter. You just want to get. Can you hit my button? Can you hit my button? Just build a better deck. You're gonna be fine. You don't have to worry about.
I'm not on the right page anymore, so I can't.
Okay. Look,
you are just focused on white. You are all about white.
No, I could play multiple colors and just still go get basic planes, and it's gonna be fine.
Wah wah. At least I'm playing multiple colors with this, and it's a turn one.
I can
fucking
play
thing to
multiple
happen.
colors with this. You should just have a basic ability to have different colors in your deck.
Yours is depending so much on, and it's a
like
turn
that
three
part.
thing.
That part is like.
Remember we were just talking about
it's
playing
fine.
cards about
it's
ramp.
You have a good
about
point
playing...
about like it's only planes, but like it hardly matters. It hardly matters. It's like if we're having a discussion of like 100%, that's like 1% that matters.
You know what's funny is
right.
We're into this because we took a little drink break. We never like explained how this works. So if anybody is listening is like, what are they even arguing about? There's only one spot left. You get to pick one of these cards, and that's all that's left in the scenario is just that there's whatever, and this is the last spot. Yeah. There's no really big scenario with this.
And so the basic bitch part of this deck making is this is a mono white deck.
No, it's not.
So what part of land tax and being able to pick and choose whatever basics? It's just going to be 3 planes in a mono white deck. That's all you're doing.
Sure, and
that's probably a majority of the cards that it's going in.
I can go into multiple colors. I can go into so many. What do you mean?
You could. But like, is it good in a green deck? No.
Fuck yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
I'll go get 3 forests.
It's
Hell
not
yeah.
go.
We
it's
just
not
talked
good.
about that.
It's
yes,
it's
good.
Amazing. It's not
amazing.
good there because it's
goes
not
in there.
ramp.
It is ramp.
Archaeomancer's map is ramp.
Then it just fits into as a good card. It doesn't need to be the ramp part because you got that covered with your green. You already got your covered with the green.
Mean?
It's just a good card.
It's just a good card.
Land tax
is not a good card. Oh, that hurt to say. All right.
Get it. It's probably the worst card out there.
Look, okay. Burgeoning is a really good card in green.
What was that?
Burgeoning. Burgeoning. There we go.
Can you get the button for me? Because I don't have that one.
Can't even read.
Who plays with burgeoning? No one plays with
burgeoning.
What do you
mean? Everybody plays with burgeoning's almost better than exploration. Exploration is a fantastic card.
It gets
What do you mean if nobody plays with burgeoning?
We had that discussion. I think we had a staple versus, and it got its ass kicked.
No, we might not have.
I think we totally did. I think it was totally in there. Like that. No, I'm doubting myself. I don't know if we actually did. I think we might have. This was probably on my list. Yes,
Judge,
it totally was.
I would like to get rid of what he just said because it does not pertain to the discussion currently. Because whatever my internal monologue is, you cannot just put it out there for people to listen. It doesn't matter what I'm thinking.
Can I ask you one question?
No.
There'll be a couple questions here.
Okay.
What is the number one thing that gets like removal, like for spot removal? What gets removed? Okay. What's number 2?
Enchantments.
You're a son of a bitch. No, it is not. You're a bastard. Damn it, you knew where I was going with that. Artifacts are the second.
Or I plead the 5th. Whatever. Am I on stand right now? Am I?
Yours is an artifact.
I'm pleading the case. All right. Yes, it is. I am an artifact.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for bringing up the better card type. Because
the
artifact
one that gets removed the most. Or
what do you mean?
Most,
but it has so much more like synergies within it. Like with Oscar, I'm able to bring in 2 Archaeomancer's maps and put in 4 lands into my hand.
So I can also use land tax so I can go get mountains if I need it, right? Because we're playing 2 colors now, right?
What do you mean? I thought if you're playing 2 colors, you should just be able to have should be able to conjure up a mountain All you need is 1 or 2. You're going to be fine.
You're gonna conjure it up. I mean,
Yeah.
just because we play Magic doesn't mean you can conjure up things. Just because you're playing.
It absolutely does. We just talked about using enough fetches to be able to get what you need. That's fine. You're fine. It's you're not worried. In 2 colors, you're not worried about being color screwed.
Land tax
You
goes
shouldn't
in
be.
1 color decks, goes in 2 color decks, goes in 3 color decks, goes in 4 color decks, goes in 5 color decks.
No.
Archaeomancers goes in
Disagree.
white.
And 2
Oscar.
color decks and 3
Oscar.
color decks.
No, it does not. You're a
And
son of a bitch.
I wouldn't do 4 or 5. I agree. I wouldn't do 4 or 5, but I wouldn't put land tax beyond 2.
Are you kidding? You're
No,
ridiculous.
I am not kidding.
Stop
I
it.
am
Stop
cereal
it.
right now.
You are not cereal.
Yeah. Land tax is in like one of my decks.
Is it?
Land tax is heavily
Shit,
overplayed.
shit. Get back.
It's
I would just
do
say
not hit a
build better
button.
deck.
That's my button. You can't use it against me.
I would just say build a better deck.
Fucking hate this. All right. Look, land tax is heavily overplayed.
Oh, it doesn't mean that it's not good.
I didn't say it wasn't good.
And speaking
map
of-
is highly underplayed
Speaking of
because it's
highly overplayed,
better.
How many decks do you
Better.
think each are in?
What? Probably pretty close.
Or maybe just half. Land tax is in 40,000 EDH rec decks.
Yeah, it's been out for 25 years.
Archaeomancer's map is in 26,000.
It's been in 1 year. 1 year at 26,000.
That's pretty good. No, I'll admit.
At
that's-
28,000, that's pretty good.
Why did you
At
add
32,000, that's really good.
It's more than land tax is at 67,000. That's
67,000 is not that much for something that's been out for 25,000 years. That's fine. Look, 50,000 decks is not impressive. It's not.
It got me on that. Just because I've been drinking doesn't mean I don't hear numbers. I will give you that yours has the ETB effect. It is 3 turns though. You're 3 turns
What do
into
you mean
it.
3 turns? 3
Why
turns?
is
What do
your
you mean
voice
3
getting so
turns?
high? Bring it down.
Because you're saying ridiculous shit. What do you mean 3 turns? You mean like on turn 3 I get 2 lands into my hand?
Yeah,
Something that like compare it to
on-
like Cultivate or Kodama's
on turn-
Reach?
You just don't land tax. You just don't need to be the first person. You're playing a 4-person game. There's a 75% chance that you're not the first person, right? You're calculating numbers. No, there's 4 of us, so you take 1 away. It's 25%.
I think there's some skill in rolling dice, so I don't know. That
So,
kind of throws
turn
things
1.
off.
You
Yeah.
play at turn 1 by your turn 2.
Uh-huh.
There's a 75% chance
But
you're getting 3 cards.
way less of a percentage that you're going to have. It's not
Whoa,
a
whoa,
fucking
whoa.
soul ring. You're not going to have it in the beginning
whoa.
of your hand. Like,
Why not?
It's a terrible mid to late game play. It's
No,
a
it
really
isn't.
good early game. I
you
agree
remember-
with you.
do you remember-
Early
whoa, whoa,
game
whoa.
is awesome.
What was that the segment before when we were talking about like thinning out and getting rid of
Yeah.
lands?
Yeah. Yep.
So as
Yeah.
you have a 75% chance if you get this on turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 of
Why'd you just like
I'm just saying,
stutter off?
because it could be
Because it doesn't matter beyond turn 3.
No,
That's
it
why.
totally does.
It doesn't
You're
matter
thinning
beyond.
out your deck and you're getting
No, but
3.
that's if you're behind. And if you're behind,
3.
you should hit my button.
If you hit this in the turn 1, holy shit, you're gonna have like 12 land in your hand.
you're gonna
by turn
you're
4.
gonna have to discard cards.
Oh my god, no! Please no.
It's not good when they're in the
When they're
graveyard.
when they're land, when you already
What do you
have
mean?
you're
When they're
thinning out your
land?
deck, you already have a mitt full of land. You're playing cards. You know, Lowery.
I would just say build a better deck.
Exactly. That I
Yeah.
asked for that like a minute ago.
If
Maybe
you're-
a minute and a
if
half
you're,
ago.
If you're a new player, you care about discarding cards, but discarding lands because you're filtering out, you're getting your mono out, you're able to play more stuff.
You're not
should be
kidding.
only.
It's just you're just going with basic, like playing lands on your turn. You're just being consistent, which is great. That's so good.
Where's
I'm
this card?
glad for you if you played your land tax super early, but you're not getting ahead. Do you know what happens when you're able to get 3 land into your hand? Do you know what? Guaranteed. It's a 95% chance that if you go and get 3 lands into your hand from your upkeep, guaranteed 95% chance you will also draw a land. That is what's going to happen.
That sounds like a Trump statistic right there.
Look, that's what happens to me. All right.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying you're wrong with 95%. Like there's it's the hugest and the worst. That's all right. I'm just trying to do it. Oh, God damn it. I hate this segment, but I love it so much. It makes my face hurt.
Look, Map is able to come down, get 2 land into your hand, no matter what the situation.
Two planes.
No, two planes.
Planes. Be specific. Basic planes.
Wow. That's
land
fine.
tax,
That's okay.
It goes in multiple decks.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
And land tax,
let's go get the crappiest color.
Land tax might not do anything.
It's gonna.
This might not
75% chance
anything.
if you get this on turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that you're doing your thing.
You need to stop at like 3 or 4.
No.
I'll give you 4.
Well,
Around where Map is good as well. Turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's when it's like a real number. You're doing
are
like
you kidding?
not real.
No, because after that, you're playing when other opponents play lands.
If you're
you won't
playing land
have
tax in
lands
the
your
late
hand.
game, like turn 8 or 9,
Here's
and
the
you're
thing.
like, I'm going to get lands. Like, you're just bad.
Here's the
Play
thing.
a better
deck.
I don't have the buttons, but I'd be pushing it.
Archaeomancers, here's what happens with that card, right?
Okay.
It's why you lost in Burgeoning and Exploration. You play it, you get your 2 lands. And then maybe you might get to play an extra land on somebody's turn, and then it's pretty much done, right? I mean, it's cool. That's good.
What do you mean? It's ramp. It's actual ramp. Because white is going to be behind. You're going to be behind. So that's why land tax becomes okay.
Because you're going to be behind, and you're going to always hit your 3 lands.
Absolutely.
3 lands.
Absolutely. Yep.
Especially when you're in those beginning turns, because the beginning turns, everybody's playing land, right?
Yep.
So you're going to hit 3, 6, probably 9 land to get in your hand. Anyways, that's not...
No. But
that's not the point.
Exactly.
Map doesn't do anything after that.
It gets you your lands.
And
then there's so many more. You can copy it. There are different. How many enchantment cards are you going to copy with? There are tons of synergies that allow you to do
land
that.
tax is going to filter my deck out just fine. I just need land tax. I don't need to copy it because it does its thing by itself. Why would I go and I don't need to rely on other cards to make this card good. Like, this is just a good card. Archaeomancers, you're counting on, I can make another copy. Well, if I make another copy, then I get 2 more.
Because you can. I'm just saying you can do that if you need it. And if you don't, you don't.
Keeps working and working. And especially
no, it doesn't.
I've done this before, and
because
you've
white
done this
doesn't
before.
ramp. Is that the problem?
So like
land tax is really good if you're not playing if you're not playing map.
You can't even
if you're playing map, then it just becomes way too good.
I'm the map.
It's too long of a word. I don't want to say it right now.
A map. If you can't play a map. You've done this before. This is my last little point is land tax. You've held lands in your hand just so you can go filter out and get 3 lands. Remember we were just talking in the last segment about getting your lands filtered out so you're not drawing more lands?
Yeah.
3 is big. When you're doing it every turn, it's 3, 6, 9, 12. Now all you're doing is drawing cards. Where Archaeomancer's map is 2. All right. Now I need to somehow flicker this, or I need to copy it, or I need to do something because
I need to do something that's synergistic within my deck. And land tax is just like generic if I'm behind not building a good deck. Fully agree.
Balls.
That's what it is.
You will hold lands from a drop just so you can filter out your deck and get more land.
From a drop? Like late game, yes. Yes, I would late game.
Oh.
And I would do that same thing with map.
So
I would do that same thing with map.
So late game is pretty good too, huh?
What? If you're doing that, if you're behind, you're already done.
You don't
No
need
matter
to
what,
buy.
I get land
just
into my hand
filtering.
with map.
So
with,
wait, late game.
Wait.
As long as you have one land less than somebody, you're filtering your deck out, right? Right? Wait.
Either way, the
Wait.
same thing happens. In late game, I'm playing Archaeo's map.
I'm playing a map.
I'm playing a map. And that's happening no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And land tax can
Just two.
easily be a dead card if you're playing a good deck. If you're playing green, I almost spilt my wine again. Holy shit.
We need to end this cast soon. And we need to get some precautions for your new computer as
What
we don't
is
want you
going
to-
on?
This is probably the longest staple verses we've had. It just,
probably is.
Yeah.
Probably is. I did not expect this. It's a good one. I don't think we're repeating ourselves other than me saying a map. I'm good. Fine. Where are you at?
I'm good. I think land tax is fantastic.
I'm
That's-
glad that you like tax on your land. You're like a Democrat, right? Like, that's fine. You like being taxed. You want to be taxed. No! That was a good joke.
I would just say build a better deck.
I agree. That's why you should put map in your deck.
All right. You guys can vote for one of these cards. There's multiple places you guys can vote. You can vote on YouTube on the community tab. You can vote on Twitter. And you can vote on the Discord if you are a part of the Discord. We will announce the winners next week. I think that's about it, buddy. That was a good episode. I'm glad you didn't spill for a second time.
Yeah, me too.
We will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
I love boobs. I'm talking tatas. I love boobs. I'm bonkers for honkers. I love boobs. Thanks for the memories. I love boobs.